Welcome back. We're
This
back.
is...
Oh. What is it?
I don't... Can I just say one thing?
Yes, please.
That's Jess. That's Demi.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God.
What?
Your book is crazy.
No. Okay, so...
Lots of thoughts happening.
No, well, this is what I ended up doing.
Oh my...
To keep myself from reading ahead,
Smart.
I put what was happening in each chapter.
Oh.
So I made like a sticky note so that way we wouldn't forget to talk about
This
anything.
makes sense that you were like an A+ student. I mean, it's really shining through during this podcast. Like, wow.
This is just also, I'm not type A in a lot of things, but this is like the one thing I'm type A about. It's really weird.
And recording issues.
There is a solution.
know.
I just need to know what it is.
Yeah.
You guys, I figured it out.
She nailed it.
Finally figured it out.
She did it.
There shouldn't be any more recording
No
issues.
struggles.
Woo.
Ever.
Yes, I'm excited. But Demi, we have to talk about something that happened that was very exciting last week. An email correspondence that we got.
Yeah.
So last week's episode, we read an email from...
Despite the dark.
Yep, despite the
fart, no.
Definitely not.
Not that.
A woman by the name of Micah wrote into us and was saying, hey, there's
Which we read last week.
Yes.
Or 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. No, last week.
No, last week.
Mm-hmm.
What is time?
I don't know. This week has been weird. And so we said that we were going to reach out. We wanted to make sure that we kept to that. So we did, and they responded very well. So this, despite the dark organization, aims to make women in particular, but men of course are welcome as well, to run and walk out in the dark without
Feel
fear.
Safe doing so. Right.
Exactly.
So we're trying to figure out a way that we can expand that group and get people on board, which it won't be hard. You know, this
I don't
is
think so.
Yeah. So that's really cool, and that's happening on Thursday.
Yeah, we have a conference call. That sounds so
Yeah,
fish.
I'm sorry. We're busy. Thursday we're on a conference call with an organization. Heard of it? You will.
You will, because we'll talk about it more.
coming at ya.
But yeah, thanks, Micah, for telling us about that. And it's worked out so far. So
Right.
we'll report back after that.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody's kind of on a running outside hiatus anyway, though.
I know.
Because of the California fires and
It's been pretty
in
sad.
Camp Paradise, Chico.
Yeah, and then in Southern California as well.
In Southern California, definitely. I got face masks today. They said on the news that the fire department's giving them away
for free, yeah.
Yeah. So they're like special. They're called N95.
Do they like filter air or something? Okay.
Yeah. So I went and picked up some today with my brother, and
I should have done that. That's really
it's
smart.
pretty crazy. Like I was just telling you earlier, we walked down the street, not very far at all, and it was so difficult to breathe.
Right.
And yeah, you shouldn't be outside for a long amount of time, and
Yeah. It's incredibly hazardous.
it's
index
terrifying.
Or whatever the air quality
It's
index.
devastating. You know what? So Sam is from Simi Valley, which is right near Thousand Oaks. And we were, kind of watching it all weekend kind of play out. And it hasn't reached her house yet, thankfully.
Because her family's still down there.
Yeah, her mom and dad live down there. But she was telling me that people are getting evacuated, and then other people are coming in and looting their homes.
Oh, yeah. That happens every time a
It's
disaster
disgusting.
happens. Like when hurricanes and
honestly,
stuff.
Special place in hell is reserved for you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That bothers me. Doesn't bother me as much as Trump's tweets. We won't get into that. We can talk about that later.
Talk about it forever.
I was livid, but fine. Okay.
But yeah, that's really nasty people.
Very. There's like
Yeah.
not even.
How do you feel okay with like somebody is down on their luck, they're losing
potentially everything.
Yeah, losing everything, and you're gonna go and steal, because some of those houses don't actually burn down. So when you go back to them and they're completely wiped clean.
Yeah. How do you live with yourself? I don't think they have souls.
That would be a reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So.
But yeah, so our thoughts are going out to everybody that's
absolutely
being affected.
I have a lot of stuff that I was going to donate to Goodwill, and now I'm just going to try and find whoever.
I guess fire stations are pretty much taking anything.
Oh, great,
Yeah.
great.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah,
then
so
I'll
I would
do
double
that then.
check. And
Cool.
also, like, giving to firefighters, like, water and stuff like that, I guess.
Right.
They've been needing that and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I can't even
So
imagine.
Scary.
They're so selfless. I mean, obviously,
Oh
what they
my
want to do, but, like,
gosh.
it's
on the complete
insane.
opposite side of the spectrum of the looters
Yeah, you
are
have-
people like firefighters and
people that are willing to
and
give everything to help people.
and just civilians are going and doing whatever they can. It's amazing. People are so amazing.
Yeah. Thank goodness there is light with the dark. That's
Totally.
for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, how was your weekend?
It was good. Speaking of air quality, I probably shouldn't have ran outside on Saturday.
Bad girl.
It wasn't. Well, it was the coach that was like, the air quality is fine. Our whole course is supposed to be fine.
Were you in Sacramento or were you outside?
We started in Folsom. So then we ran in.
Still bad
there.
there.
It didn't, I mean, again, it didn't smell. I think I told you it didn't smell, but you said that you don't always smell it.
Right.
I did when I first got to when I was in Sacramento, before we left on the bus to get up to Folsom. It was fine. Like, I haven't had any issues from running outside, thank goodness. But if I were to do it like yesterday or today, Sunday or Monday, it wouldn't have gone well. That's for sure. Because I have a headache today from all of it.
Yeah,
it's
I just feel
insane.
very like everything's kind of more labor intensive than usual.
Yeah.
I just feel
and you know what it feels like to me?
Huh.
Did you ever watch Stranger Things?
Of course.
Yeah, the Upside Down, because it's super hazy.
Whoa, you're so right.
Yeah. If there was like actual ash, but it really
God, I love
does
that
feel like
show.
that. I took a picture today to send to a friend, and it was like where I work, you can look out the window and there's that bridge.
Oh, that picture you posted?
Yeah, my stories.
It looks like fog.
It's exactly. It looks
it's
like
as
fog, but it's
thick
smoke.
as fog. Yeah, it's nuts.
Can't even see the bridge barely.
Yeah. So I was
Yeah.
in Tahoe this past weekend, and it was beautiful, crystal clear, crisp air.
Love that word. Love it.
Super crisp mountain air. And then we're driving down the mountain.
Yeah.
And we were driving right at sunset, and it was really like, it was a really beautiful sunset. And then you see it's the thickest layer that is just sitting on the valley. It was
so
crazy. And it was, Brett was just saying, like, if you didn't know that there was a fire, you would think it was so foggy.
Exactly. Yeah, or like there was so much air pollution by like
Nasty.
cars and stuff. Oh my gosh, that's
Bad.
so
Bad,
crazy.
bad.
And the sun today, as it was setting, was like bright red. I'm like, that's looks pretty, but it's horrible.
great.
Yeah, not good. Not a good
great.
sign.
Yep. Okay, well, enough sadness.
I know,
we
yeah.
need some positivity.
Positive. Well, we are drinking some delicious tea.
Super delicious. Thank you for bringing that.
Of course, it is honey lavender by the brand Yogi, and it's stress relief tea.
Oh, what does yours say? What does your little thing say?
So it has a little quote on them, and mine says, "Kindness is the light of life."
True. Love is the ultimate law of life.
Oh,
Hello.
interesting.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah,
There's that.
It's in our podcast mug. So
Super yummy. Okay, so let us just recap.
what happened?
Yeah, why don't you read your Post-it?
Well, I didn't do Post-its for the
Oh.
previous chapters. I just did it for the ones.
Okay, well, I am on chapter 13, which is what we stopped at last week. And so last thing that happened is, Julia, this is just like very end of chapter 13.
Right.
Julia's finally meeting with the press to fill them in on the little girl that they found, the status of her well-being, if she's getting any information out of her, if she can fly.
Yeah.
And all they are doing is asking her about her LA case.
Yeah, exactly.
With Amber and the shooting and
and how she didn't know and
right. So she gets really overwhelmed by that. And who is there to save the day but Dr. Max? He just is right there on he's a knight in shining motorcycle armor.
Yep.
Takes her away because she's so stressed.
Just whisks her away.
Whisks her. And so then they go back to his house. So cheese.
It's so cheesy. I just want
But,
to
I love it.
you.
I love it
I know.
so much. I'm, beyond.
I'm here for it.
I'm very present in the moment for this.
Exactly. I'm like, just hurry up and fuck already, please.
So he's trying to seduce her. She's like, goodbye. And she takes off.
Yep.
And then, he has to drop her off.
Yeah.
Which is how we start. Now we're in chapter 14, which is newest new.
Because he can't stop thinking about her. And so she had told him previously, the only way I know how to love is all or nothing. And he can't stop thinking about those words. It's
All
very
or nothing. Yeah.
Yes.
He is there for that, I think.
I know.
She doesn't believe him.
No, I don't know. I wouldn't either if you kind of... It seems like... So Julie's sister Ellie is kind of told her hey, just kind of watch out for this guy. He's kind of been around and all that stuff. I wouldn't want to see you get hurt. And so I kind of would be very... Just put the brakes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially... So this is what I'm kind of confused on. If he is so all about her, why is he trying to be so cheese?
I don't know.
Why the music and the candles and the wine and all of this? It's so much it's typical one night stand or I'm just trying to get in your pants.
I feel like that's the only way he knows how to be at the moment, So he's like, let's just start here.
But then he's really sensitive to her feelings and very she's always saying you know exactly what to say. You always make me feel better. But then I don't know, their relationship is so conflicting. Both of them are they drive me crazy.
I think they're both dealing with demons that
so much trauma, both of them.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. Yeah. But something interesting does happen in chapter 4, right at the beginning of chapter 14 when he's on the motorcycle, and it says he parked the bike in the garage and went into his dark, quiet house, immediately turning on every light and the stereo. And then there's a quote, and it says, "Noise and light aren't life, Max." It was Susie's voice.
So I'm guessing, I'm sure you probably already know because Demi is finished, but...
I have no idea.
No idea. I'm obviously guessing it's his ex-wife because later on we find out that he talks to her, to Susie, on the phone. It's interesting that, things are popping up, from his past that are making him think about, what he's doing in the present, too. It's it's still kind of haunting him. Something's still haunting him.
Right. So... there is another part. He's still reminiscing, and he says he never should have gone to her tonight, and he'd known it. After the press conference, he'd left the station, and then he was just kind of lingering. Lurking. And then it said, the trouble was he knew how hot the glare of that spotlight could be when he looked at her there behind all those microphones, trying so hard to be strong. He made a dangerous turn. He noticed her trembling lower lip and pale stop. pale face, her teary eyes, and his stop. Oh my God. And his first thought had been that he wanted to kiss those tears away.
Ew.
No.
Ew.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. I wrote, my note was so cheese. Keep going. But wait, no, do it.
It is so cheap. That. I don't get me wrong. I love reading it. It's fun. I'm here for it. I'm there with them, which sounds kind of creepy. But the idea of it does kind of just come on, barf.
No.
But Kristin Hannah, thank you for also doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not mad about it.
I'm
kind of mad that I like it.
I know. I'm trying to find out who my identity really is.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I don't like those things, Kristin.
Yeah.
But apparently I do.
Yeah. I like it for Julia and Max, okay?
Yeah.
It's okay for me to like that.
Right. It's my alter ego's coming out and just very present.
Yes. Yes. So then it's goes to Julia right after that, and that's when Ellie's like, "Hey, just be careful," for or Ellie said that. Who am I talking about? Ellie told Julia to be careful. Did I say that? I don't know.
Ellie, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Wait,
whatever.
You said okay. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. I'll fix it.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So
and then it goes right into girl. That doesn't. Girl senses something is wrong. She stands still, sniffing the air.
Oh, wait. Can we just go back for, like, just a touch when we were talking? Because, like, so there's a part when Julia and Ellie are talking, and Ellie is telling her, watch out for him. I'm not kidding. I'm not jealous. Be careful.
Right.
And then Julia says she was touched by the concern. And then she said, Ellie said, thanks for throwing yourself on the fire for us. And then she said, everything will be okay, you know, sooner or later it'll die down and they'll remember how good you are at what you do. And so Julia was stoked about that and said that's what Mom would have told me. And so that really resonated with me because, first of all, finally they're like,
starting to be sisterly.
They're starting to have a real relationship that's not just surface of my popular sister always gets what she wants and doesn't understand me and I'm a loser. So even if she doesn't believe it, Julia still needs these constant reminders.
Right.
But so does Ellie. And so it's just good that they're getting this dialogue going.
Yes, exactly.
And so I was like, it was so crazy because that's something that I tell myself all the time. Like, this is going to settle down. I am in the middle of the most craziest thing ever, but this is going to be okay. Totally. It's going to work out exactly how it's supposed to work out, which doesn't always mean it's going to work out the way I want it to.
Right. So, but it will calm down. It will. Everything will be fine.
Yeah. It's a really great mantra to just cycle through your head. Okay, sorry.
I love that. No, don't be. I love that. That's great.
Yeah. So back to girl. She's in her room.
She's in her room. She's sniffing the air. She likes the sound of Julia's voice. It seems like she's like super calm by it. But she's still nervous. She seems like something's off. And Julia calls her over.
Right. Do you notice that Kristin Hannah, like when she's doing specifically girls monologue, there are certain words that she capitalizes.
Ooh.
Like so she capitalizes the H in her. She capitalizes the B in bad. And it's not like the beginning of a sentence.
Right, exactly.
You know, it's just like those are her words. And I noticed that she does that a lot with like specific words that pertain to girl.
I didn't notice the bad. I mean, I've noticed like her. I guess like when people talk about God, how they capitalize him or whatever.
That's what I think
thought
of.
It's like the name almost of like, so when they're talking about like sun hair, her, you know, she's talking about a specific person, and girl is her name to herself because she's still not answering to Alice.
Right.
But yeah, I didn't notice that she was capitalizing bad. Maybe because they're just such prolific words to her, to the little girl, because that's like certain words that she probably hears all the time, like stay and all those other words. Like maybe those are just the words that stand out to her and nothing else.
Totally. Yeah.
Really kind of makes sense because it's all jumbled together.
Yep.
But I really liked the start of this chapter because we had talked last week about how she was freaked out by the dream catchers. And this is a way for her to get over that, like to get over a hurdle. So Julia brings in a whole box of dream catchers and this little girl is freaking her crap lips out.
Yeah, she is.
And is worried. And, you know, Julia is saying, like, trust me, it's okay. And she
glances around the room, expects him to break into the 2 light plates.
I know. And also, when she's talking about, like, how she thinks about his hairy knuckles weaving the dream catcher and stuff like that, I'm just like, oh, no. Like, that makes me so scared. And I can, like, be in her place, like,
so
feeling
vivid.
So scared.
Yeah. So she's screaming and...
She finally touches the dream catcher and she says that nothing happens. The little girl's like, nothing happens. And then Julia shows her how to break it. And then she just goes through the whole entire box, breaking the dream catchers.
Breaking them, yep.
Could you imagine the relief of being like, oh my gosh, these aren't...
just an object.
Yeah, this has no power.
Yeah. Oh, so freeing for her.
I know. And it was such a big breakthrough. And I think from that point on, at least... from what it seems like I read, that it has gotten better for her, you know?
Yeah, there's so much trust being developed between Julia and girl, Alice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love reading Julia's notes too. Are you down there?
I am. I sure am.
Oh, so fun. I wonder, wonder if that's how actual psychologists
Yeah.
take study notes.
I'm not sure.
Because it seems kind of like a journal.
It does. And I mean, I bet you there's different methods for different types of people. I mean, different, or however you kind of learned how to do it. But hers is definitely kind of like a journal where it's like you can see the progress in her notes, which is nice.
I like it.
Sunshine particularly engages her attention, as do bright plastic objects and dishes. It's really interesting to kind of see how this little girl is starting to actually react to things, because before she was so closed off and didn't even want to show any emotion whatsoever, and now she's like,
that's what she's been trained.
I know.
I hate that.
I know, me too. And then this is when Ellie calls to Julia and says that there's doctors and researchers from the University of Washington and all that stuff.
Right.
So Julia goes and talks to them, and they're like, we want to take the child.
We're going to take her. You've been through a lot. You're not
the best
qualified.
Yeah.
Like, you're in a rough place right now. And so when this was happening, I'm just, the only reason they want her is to learn from her.
Yes.
They don't want to help her.
No.
They only want, I guess,
maybe on some level, but more than anything, they want to just research her.
Yeah,
like, is she a feral
scientific
child?
Study.
Yes,
she's
exactly.
not a human.
Which is, in this book already, Julia's talked about how feral children in the past have just been looked over as soon as they're studied, and they can't really get any progress from them.
And they're put into institutions, and they never grow.
Yeah, and she doesn't want that for Alice, so she basically just tells them, like, thank you for your concern, but I'm fine.
But you know who does that is Ellie.
Oh,
yeah.
Is it Ellie?
Yeah. I'm really glad, though, that Ellie was there for her.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder how often it happens where, maybe not for just children, maybe anything, where trained doctors are, like, they're psychologists, and their job is to help people, but they go and use Julia's weakness against her for their own gain. That is so backwards to me. Like, they know that she's fully capable of doing it.
Right, exactly.
And they only want personal gain.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at least they they told him to, get out. We're gonna, the whole goal is to get this little girl to talk, though. And so it seems like that's kind of the one thing that's kind of looming over her head. Like, if you don't get her to talk, then we are going to take her away. So,
yeah, so then Ellie steps forward and she's like, this is the end of the meeting. Thank you all for coming. And then she herds them all to the door and is like, goodbye, get out, which is awesome. Also, I love that Ellie's dogs are like companions with Alice. It's so cute. She's a little wolf girl.
After this whole exchange happens with the doctors and the researchers, Julia's like rattled from it, and Alice is like sensing like her energy from her, and she goes over and like lightly touches her arm, and Julia's like didn't even realize it at first, and then she starts stroking her, and I'm like, oh my god. So she's showing empathy, which is a huge deal.
Huge.
So I mean, that's like that's why Julia doesn't think that she's really autistic at all anymore. It's just like, you just haven't been in an environment to really learn like you should develop at a rate that you should have. And it says that I put that Alice recognizes the word stay.
Yep.
You know that word, don't you? Stay. I need something from you too, Alice. I need to help you. So yeah.
So that was the end of chapter 14. And now we're into 15. And this is when they're kind of like just going through it, and Julia's just working. It says she's working 18-hour days.
Right. And this is when it blows up in the media too, right?
And she's doing interviews on the daily. Constantly with the press. And she's telling them, she reached for me today. She buttoned her own blouse. She pointed at a bird. She used a fork, which are monumental, huge things. And they're like...
But is she talking?
Yeah.
But do you know who she is?
Oh my God.
It's just like they don't even care about it.
For people who have zero qualifications as to how monumental these things are.
Exactly.
Like, you sound so stupid.
Yeah. Anything this girl is doing
Ignorant.
at this moment is huge.
Yes. The fact that she's not, like, clawing at her face anymore and peeing in a corner, like, huge. She used a toilet.
Yeah, exactly.
This is big.
From one time watching somebody else do it. And then also during this chapter 15, they're waiting on DNA for this little girl. They still don't know.
Right. So
about her.
also with all the media, with all these people coming every day, and it starts to kind of trickle out, and people are like, well, you're telling us these things and it's nothing of significance. So this one, what is it? Not interviewer. What is the word I'm thinking of?
Journalist?
That one. He's a journalist, and he's like, I wish you luck. We're pulling out.
Yeah, we're not getting anything.
Yeah, we can't. Because St. Helens,
right.
like whatever. And so she looks down. This is Julia. She looks down at his card, John Smith. Okay. Way to get lazy.
I know, seriously. Yeah, you say Max Saracen, and now you're saying John Smith.
TV News, KIRO. She knew had a top-notch research staff and access to people and places she couldn't begin to reach. How hard did you guys try and find out who she is? And that he replies, 4 researchers worked on it full-time for first 2 weeks. And she had been afraid of that. And he says, good luck. And I don't know if you know this. Do you know if that's how media works? Like, when stories like this break, do they have their own investigative teams? Or
Well, I mean, I don't know for certain. I just know. Did you ever see that movie Spotlight with Rachel McAdams?
Oh, you mean Ellie?
Yeah, Ellie. And it has Mark Ruffalo in it, and it's about like the Boston newspaper
Catholic.
Yeah, Catholic priests were molesting kids, and it was going it wasn't talked about. Like, nobody was doing anything about it. And so they were researching on that. They had a whole team for that for like over a year or something like that. So I can see that actually being true, because that was based off a true story. Obviously, this is not, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah. But I was just wondering if maybe that's...
I should ask my sister, because she was a journalist. I bet you...
Oh, yeah. Ask her. I'm curious, like how much they have to learn about a situation before they can even go into it.
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, they don't want to print anything false. You want to be a reputable...
Yeah,
exactly. Newspaper. So I can definitely see that being a thing, And I'm sure that they do want to be the one to break who this little girl is, like who she belongs to.
Totally.
So I can see them, if that were a true thing, if this were a true case, that they would probably put a lot of effort into that. So, but I don't know. It's just my speculations.
So then after this, they Peanut drives. Oh my gosh,
Julia.
I literally could not think of her name.
I've been having problems going back and forth between Ellie and Julia.
Like, I know.
I don't know why.
What
They're
is the
totally
deal?
different names.
I just
don't get it.
No. Okay, so
Peanut drives Julia
home, and Alice is flipping out again because she woke up without Julia there.
She's attached to her.
Oh my gosh! And she puts her hand in the pocket.
I know.
It's so cute.
It's like my sister's kids would put their hands in my sister's shirt as a comfort.
Yeah.
And one time, I was being silly with my niece Ellie, and I'd shoo her hand away and put my hand right above where my sister's neck was, and my niece Ellie would get so mad, and she'd swat my hand away.
Oh my gosh.
She'd put her hand.
That's so cute.
It was just a little fun. I thought it was a fun game. Ellie was not for it. My niece's name is also Ellie, not to confuse everybody. Oh man, so cute. But yeah, putting her hand in her pocket, so sweet. Yeah, so she's freaking out, and as soon as she sees
Julia walk in the room,
it's nice. And then going back to the DNA thing, they were waiting on it, and then they get the bad news that the DNA doesn't have a match.
I know.
They have no idea.
I know.
And
it's terrible.
I kind of really put myself in their position for this though, because they were this is like what they were banking on. They were banking on like finding out who this little girl was, at least through some match. And once they get the news that there's no match, it says after that no one spoke, a real rarity here. And I'm just like, that's interesting. You know, with Peanut and Cal and Ellie, they're constantly like shooting the shit and stuff, and they can't
just
even
totally down. Ugh, terrible.
I know, it really sucks.
Okay, how do you feel like if everybody's DNA was in CODIS? Like if it was just required?
I don't know. That's too Big Brother for me, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I like that idea.
But why?
I just don't think I mean, if somebody wants to like submit their DNA, that's one thing. Like if somebody wants to go get fingerprinted, like we did that in like middle school. We had some kids that like their parents like chose to get them fingerprinted and all that stuff. And it just seems too big. But I don't like the whole idea of people watching. But if it wasn't
used for anything other than like this, like we need to know who this little girl is related to, or we need to know who raped this lady, or we need to know who did whatever.
Right. I do think that's very noble. I think though that it would 100%, no matter how much like they said like it wouldn't. But
what would they do with it? Like, what would they do with your DNA?
I mean, I have no idea. I believe in some conspiracy theories and stuff like that.
I'd love to hear it. I don't know any. I'm so ignorant.
It's not even that I know a whole bunch. I just think that it wouldn't potentially be the best thing. I think it could be abused. You know what I mean? Again, like I don't care if people submit it. Like I loved when the fact that a fourth cousin of Joseph James D'Angelo submitted his DNA amazing. And they caught him that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. That's coming at you. But I think it's a little. It seems kind of creepy to just know everybody's DNA. That's almost like too intimate to know everybody's because it's like a mandatory thing, you know?
Yeah. It like, I can see both sides. Like for some reason, I just immediately think of Handmaid's Tale.
100%.
You know?
Yeah, same.
So I just don't want to be just a number.
Right.
You know?
But yeah, I don't know. So what would you actually do though?
I would submit it.
You would?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to do anything wrong. So.
Yeah.
So,
but I'm not saying that I would even not submit it. I just don't like the idea. You are going to be a murderer.
Yeah. You are a serial killer.
Only if like somebody like went after my nieces and nephew.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
But I mean, like I probably myself wouldn't have a hard time like submitting it.
Right.
I think just the idea if people are uncomfortable with it, I wouldn't want to put anybody in that situation where it's like it's mandatory for you to submit your DNA because that's just a little too.
But the people who are uncomfortable doing it.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that it's like a bad thing to be uncomfortable doing it. I like again, I really do think it's a big brothery kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, why do you need to know that information if I haven't done anything? You know,
right.
It just is a little too much involvement.
Right.
Like government wide, like in that way, you know,
that's
and
true.
that's just like
that's very true.
A little more separate, I think. But just going off of the DNA real quick, because that's the whole history of Cal and Ellie, and I'm so here for whatever relationship is happening. I am so here for it. And they talked about like going to the big, because this is when they go to the bowling alley.
Right. Yes. Oh my God.
Because
Okay.
Ellie is so bummed that there's no DNA match. And Cal is like, well, let's go to the big bowl. Like they used to work there together. It's a bowling alley. They did for a summer. Is that what it was?
I think something like that.
And Ellie says, that was a long time ago, Cal. I can't believe you remember it. I remember. There was an edge to his voice that was odd. He walked over to the hooks by the door and grabbed his coat. And I'm like, reminiscing.
Yeah. So then that night continues. She gets hammered. She sings karaoke in her uniform, has margaritas. Yeah, she's very toasted. And she's like, Cal drives her home and is the DD and makes sure she gets home okay. And she's like, I need new friends, blah, blah, blah. And
so much flirting is happening.
Oh my God.
Cal was openly smiling. I'm going to stand here, us not being friends anymore and all. Like, just saying, like, going off of, like, I need new friends. Well, I'm not your friend anymore, so I'll just stand right here.
Yep. And so then he's like, finally, okay, you're fine. I'm going out. And then And then she says goodnight, and she says, grabs the handrail just as she started to fall. Cal was beside her in an instant. Hey, I thought you left. And then he says, he's right here. Okay, this is me being extra cheese. I'm right here. I've always been here. I love you. Is the missing sentence.
Damn it. Why isn't that sentence there? It's there underneath it all.
Yeah. God, she's
It's
so
there underneath it all.
drunk.
I'm right here.
Oh, and she was like, what'd she say? I hate going to bed alone. Or
Totally opening it up for him to like slide into that.
I know, but is she like
Playing him, I think, a little bit.
She's being
Insensitive.
Yeah.
I think so.
He's clearly all about that.
And she clearly is in some way too, but
like
it's just
she doesn't
like,
know it.
that, and it's just like she's almost like too afraid to go there because she
Right.
feels like, I feel like she's worried she would be like downgrading a little bit. What's the word I'm looking for?
Yes.
Yeah, like just
you are so right. Yes.
Like he's not quite on her level, you know? Like she thinks that she could do better when really like, no, he's seems like a great guy. I think this is the best you can do.
Yep.
The best you should want to do.
And then she starts kind of calling him out too.
Yeah.
And she's like, why are you always driving me home? Why doesn't your wife care? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I told you Lisa is out of town. And Lisa, where the hell is Lisa? You have 3 daughters, Lisa.
I know. Lisa. Heck no.
Where are you?
And my favorite, I think, line that he says in this chapter was, you always wanted the wrong things.
He's like, and I'm the right thing.
I'm the right thing.
I love that song by the Backstreet Boys. It's so good. Yeah. So clearly vibes.
So many.
We see you, Cal.
Yes, we do. So I don't know. I want to see what happens.
I know.
I hope something happens. But then after that, it closes out on that whole thing. And the last thing that I thought of was importance of this chapter was the fact that people stopped showing up to the press conferences, which means people don't really care.
Getting out.
Yeah, no news is getting out about this little girl. Less and less hope that they're going to find who she belongs to or where she's from or who her name is. Who her name is. What her name is.
who she what is. And then they run into Peanut when they're like leaving after the not press conference happens. It's so funny. Peanut says, they ran into Max and Peanut says, where is it? That Dr. Surason is certainly a fine looking man. And then Julia says, is he? I didn't notice. And Peanut bursts out laughing. It's like, no shit, he's gorgeous.
Even my little note here was like, that's something Demi and I would say. Yeah. Really? I didn't notice.
Totally.
I love it.
So now we're in 16. Still reading about missing children's reports. Nothing's coming up.
Julia tells Ellie nobody showed up.
Yeah.
So Ellie kind of gives Julia a pep talk because Julia's feeling really down about herself. It's just like, am I going to be able to help this little girl? Am I even doing enough for this little girl? And it's just really sweet how she's trying to like make her feel better. But then she mentions their dad and was like, Dad thought you were so bright, blah, 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 blah. Like he knew, you are good enough. And he's like, Dad, like, what do you mean? And I thought shit was about to go down.
Oh, I did too. I thought it was about to pop off. And pop-off. Papa Kate.
Which I'm happy it didn't, because it just shows that, like, they're grown adult women. Thank goodness it didn't actually, like, turn into a full-fledged
And they
fight.
clearly had 2 completely
different.
different childhoods.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, but it was nice that it seemed like it kind of resolved itself. Julia kind of has a sense of like, you know what, I'm gonna do something a little more radical. I'm gonna take steps to actually push it forward even more. I'm not gonna be too careful because we don't even know who this little girl is anyway.
Totally.
So might as well go for it.
Yep.
But,
so that's when Julia. I can't
that song by NSYNC.
Oh my god. Okay, so Julia goes down. Let it happen. So
It's gonna burn if it goes to my nose.
Let it be.
Let it be.
So she goes and gets Alice after her nap, and ding, ding, ding. What happens? Is this the part that I'm thinking of, or I think I'm getting ahead of myself.
A little bit.
Because you know what I'm talking about, huh?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I think so she just kind of feels like a little bit better, but she's just realizing that like Alice is very smart, and she's also like starting to edge towards the door. Like she's like, she's getting more curious. She wants to, she kind of looks like she wants to go outside, but like is still a little scared. And it seems a little bit more like now is the time to actually maybe take the bigger steps to actually see how she's going to do.
So yeah, she gives her overalls, sweater. I love that she always tells her no hurt.
I know. That's really sweet.
So this is when they're going to go outside.
They're going to go outside now.
So she makes her put on her shoes. She hates shoes.
She does. She's a little wild girl. And the night is full of noises. Sometimes it's too loud. That girl has trouble hearing the quiet that lies beneath. I just think that sounds so poetic when she says that. I'm just like, oh. Again, like we've said, like I just like being in girl's head.
Thoughts.
She really, truly does. I mean, she's been so secluded in her own thoughts for so long. I mean, she's only 6, right? But still, like that's a lot.
It's your life.
It's your whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, Julia's like pleading with her, like, please talk. Like, is any of this making sense? I need you to talk, Alice. And it's all in the girl's mind, so it's like all running together. And she keeps hearing talk, and she's like, did Sunhair want girl to make the sounds? To make the sounds that meant things? No, that couldn't be. That is the bad thing. So she's like, I can't talk. That's like completely
I'm not
forbidden.
Supposed to.
Yeah. What do you mean? I mean, Julia gets like emotional because she just feels sad about it. You know, like please, like just talk and stuff like that. And it gets to the point where the girl thinks that Julia's leaving. But she's not. She's just like, you know, I'm gonna stay, right? Or is that what she says?
She's at the top of the stairs, and
she's like,
she's kind of coaxing her.
Exactly.
Like,
she's like, it's okay, Alice. I'm not leaving you. And she hears the word leaving and kind of freaks out a little bit. She's like, what do you mean you're leaving? And then the girl says it. She puts her lips together and quietly says, stay.
Stay. Good girl.
Yay.
Good
And
girl.
then right after that, she says, peace.
Peace. I know.
It just makes me think
So
of like my
sweet.
nieces talking and stuff. And it's just like so freaking cute to hear words that are, you know, developing, you know. But yay. So she talks. She can talk.
Stay. And then she's all happy about that.
Yeah. And then that's all. That was the biggest freaking
Monumental.
Yeah, monumental. I mean, I feel like that's like the crux, except for whoever
Totally.
him is. Of the freaking book is that she actually can talk.
Yep. So now we know that she can. Nothing's wrong with her. She's just very just gone through a lot of trauma.
Yeah, she has, for sure. Trauma. That made it sound like exciting. No,
I know, it's
not.
bad.
No trauma. And now we're in 17.
We are.
And I think they're just like recapping, like, obviously she doesn't know how to say that many words, so they think that she has a vocab of a toddler. And obviously they know something very bad happened that made her not talk or stop talking or whatever the situation is.
So then Julia and Ellie are just kind of going back and forth and sitting on the porch and kind of recapping what just happened.
This is my favorite chapter, probably, though.
Really?
'Cause the hot tub is coming
Oh my
up.
god. Oh my god. Should we just go there?
Oh my god. Okay.
Go there.
Wait,
go
real
there.
quick. Recap.
What?
Still no hits on the DNA. Julia sneaks out of the house because she's feeling on fire.
Goodbye.
Because Alice talked.
she's magic.
Yes.
Sorry if that was loud.
Doesn't matter because it's very exciting. So, take it away.
No, you take it away. You're like stoked on this.
I'm so stoked. Well, because you knew this already happened before I read it, and I'm just like, what is about to happen?
Hot tub.
All Demi said to me was hot tub, and I was like, what does she mean? Like, what hot tub? And then, so Julia sneaks away, decides to go to Max's house because she wants to say,
She wants to
Tell
talk
somebody.
with oh my god, this is the same freaking word that I couldn't remember last week either. not a compadre.
Also a good word.
Good compadre. But like,
and I think I said the same thing, somebody on her level.
But yes, somebody on her level, but what is that? It's called like a... Yeah.
So
I saw
right
it.
there.
I saw it in your face.
Counterpart.
Codependent. Coexist.
Nope.
Counterpart. Compadre.
Oh my god. We can't move on. We can't move on.
We're here.
Okay. Not associate. In a way, yeah.
It is an associate though.
But
Colleague! Yes! This is why people need 3-day weekends.
Everybody's refreshed
to think
of the word.
To think of something for
colleague.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh my
Love
god.
it, but yes.
Okay, colleague. She wants to discuss with a colleague who understands that, like,
this is a big deal.
Look at what I just did. Yeah.
I got this little girl
oh my god.
to talk.
Look what I just did. I thought of the word colleague.
It is very commendable.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay,
so she goes over to his house. Right. You know, comes up on him, and he's in the mother freaking hot tub.
He's in a hot tub. He's getting toasty. It's
getting
lit.
Toasty. Yep.
He's lit. He's drinking.
Yes.
By himself.
Seems to kind of be his theme.
Yeah, he's very like lone wolf.
Mm-hmm. Invites her in. And then she's like, oh, you probably invite everybody in. And he's like, no, I've actually never had anybody in the hot tub before. I don't know if I believe him. I guess I do. I mean,
I think I do. Why would he lie? You're right.
Kristin Hannah, why would you lie to us about Matt?
Yeah. We'll discuss further.
Yes.
Okay. A hot tub doctor. How cliche.
Ooh. Love it.
Yeah.
She was like, should I do it? I don't know.
Yeah. Very much
have a
struggling.
Swimsuit. But then she goes in anyway.
Yep. So she gets in and they're talking. He says,
couldn't take his eyes off her.
Oh my gosh. And then, where is it? White lacy bra she wore had gone transparent. Ooh. He saw the... Oh my god, no, I'm not even going to read it.
Your parents are listening.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Okay. You're staring, she said, sipping her wine. You're beautiful. Ugh. Stop.
Yes, I'm here for it.
You are?
Yes. Are you kidding me?
I mean, I guess so.
Again, it's like that same thing where it's just like, oh, so cheesy, but like I still
literally though, if I was in that moment, I'd be like, oh my god, stop, go on.
Yeah, no, for real. If I actually was in that moment, like it's cheesier to read it,
right?
But if I were legit in that situation, I would be freaking out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're so right. I'm putting myself there, like, Okay. I got it.
Are you there?
I got it.
Are you living in Julia's shoes? Well, no shoes. Are you living in her bra and panties?
See-through. Okay. So, what happens? What happens, Jess?
Well, they just have too much chemistry.
So much chem.
So much chemistry.
Chem 1A. Got it.
And he just can't help but kiss her. Also, cup her breast.
Yeah, he did it.
He
did the dirty.
As soon as I read that, I was like, oh. Get it.
Go on.
Except for she completely stops it, which she has a right to.
I know.
I'm here for that.
She's scarred, and also boundaries.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think she was there for it, though, but she's like, oh, no, wait. Colleagues. Now that we know that word, I'm going to use it all the time.
Colleague compadres.
2 important C's. Oh, man.
Colleague compadre cesarean. Because cesarean? Cesarean. Is that his name?
No.
What's his name? Cesarean.
I thought you were
cesarean. Oh, I did say that.
Yeah.
Cesarean section. All C's and S's. Got it. Cool. Yeah. Moving on. Anyway, they're in the hot tub.
Do you say Saracen? I say Saracen.
Saracen.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Or cesarean section.
Yeah, that too.
Damn it. Why did I say that? Maybe 3-day weekends aren't good for you.
Yes, they are. It's the smoke that's bad for you.
Yeah. Okay, so then she books it out of there. She's like, goodbye, ooh. Max, I love you, goodbye. Yeah. So then she dreamt of him all night.
We did forget to talk about their little, they also had a conversation besides kissing and breast cupping. And it was like, just like, oh, are you close to your family? No, I'm not close to mine.
He's not close.
Yeah, they're both not. And then she actually tells him, like, Alice said stay. And he's like, I knew you'd do it.
Oh, and I'm so like, sweet.
And that's right before the kissing.
The kiss. Yeah. I mean, Yeah.
Man,
I get it.
I get that so, like, after he's like, I knew you could do it, and then kisses her.
Yeah.
Here for that.
It's on.
Yeah. Okay, so
it's on between Julia and Max. She goes to bed and she dreams about him all night, but then she has to, like, get back.
She's very on a high right now.
Yeah, she's riding that high wave. So then she's, like, trying to get Alice to say her name. She says, Julia. Can you say that, Julia? And then Alice whispers her.
I know.
Little gem. You're working so hard. And then she says, Julie.
I like the way that she spells it.
Me
Kristin
too.
Hannah spells it because she's trying to, like, make you hear the way the girl would actually say it. And it's Jewel, like, Jewlee. Julie. It's so cute. And then Julia asks, like, what's your name? After she said Alice, like, a million times. It's just girl with a frown.
But she doesn't like it.
She doesn't like saying girl, but she, like, associates with girl. So I there has to be some psychological thing happening there.
I really like that she's starting to really open out, like, get out of her shell more, because she, like, knows that she wants to go outside. And this is what the big thing is that she knows that Julia isn't going to hurt her for wanting things.
Exactly.
So she, like, pounds on the door and is like, let me out of here. I want to go outside. And Julia's like, wait, let's do this. And Alice is like, no, and hits the door again.
Yeah.
So she's getting more confident. Yeah, which is
another
super
C.
cool.
That's a good C. Add it to the list.
Colleagues, confidence, compadres, Saracen. Wait. Yes? C-section. Oh my god.
Oh goodness.
Okay. So then we're back.
And then it goes into Max, right? Because
he's sweating it out on a rock.
Yep, he's rock climbing that stuff, but it starts raining. And he can't stop thinking about Julia. And he knows that if he doesn't stop thinking about her, it could be dangerous. Turns out it is.
It is, yeah. He
drops
slips
40
and
feet.
almost dies.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's like, did I break my back? No, cool. Okay, I'm lucky.
Right. So then, oh my gosh.
And then keeps thinking about, again,
all or nothing.
All or nothing.
Yeah. That's
nothing.
That's their thing.
It is their thing. Oh my god. Is that in their wedding vows? Please get married.
I was just thinking that.
Were you?
Yes.
Once you said that's their thing, it really set me up to think that way mentally. Obviously thinking mentally. Okay. Can't. I didn't get Monday off. I did not get Monday off, and I had to deal with the smoke.
Okay, so then in 18, it's kind of like Julia's diary. What are your notes about?
That's a good question. I mean, isn't it just talking about how Alice only still calls herself girl. She's excited. Julie's excited that she is getting mad and she's developing a sense of possession. She's like, okay, she has emotions. She's finally developing the way that she should have been all along, and she's loving it, even though she's like, okay, I'm gonna have to correct this later, but right now I'm just happy that she's actually showing
I love
emotion.
This dialogue between them. So Alice wants her to read the book, and she says, use your words, Alice. And then she said, read. And then Julia says, read what? And she says, boo. Who wants me to read? Alice frowned heavily. Girl? So cute.
I know.
I love how hard she's trying. She really wants to please Julia.
Yeah. She knows that it's like a good reward.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to get in trouble.
For
even, like, attempting anything.
Yeah. Oh,
sorry.
What? No, tell me.
They're talking about, like, hosting Thanksgiving. And, like, Ellie wants to connect with Alice, which I think is so sweet. She's like, it makes me kind of sad that you guys are the only ones that have a relationship. And also, the sisters are really, like,
vibing.
Finally, like, even more so. Like, yeah, they had their, like, moment a little while ago, but, like, they're really actually enjoying each other's company.
Yep.
And I'm, like, so here for that sisterly love.
Yes. Always.
Always.
That's so good.
What were we going to say?
She's teaching her how to count. And she's really good at it.
Super good at it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Ellie is going to be making more of an effort. And they're, you're right, talking about Thanksgiving, blah.
They want to invite people over.
Max.
Also Cal.
And Cal.
But
Cal
that's
is always
around.
normal. Yeah, that was like a tradition.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, they dressed Alice up all cute for Thanksgiving. Oh, and this is when Ellie has her moment.
Yep. Yep. So Julia gives Ellie, because Alice loves the color red. So Julie gives Ellie a plastic red cup and it's like, here, give her this. Like, it might go over well. Just, here's some juice in it or whatever. And Alice is just like, what are you doing over here?
Yeah.
Why are you
she's
coming
like,
close to me? Yeah.
No thanks.
Excuse me? And then Ellie's like, okay, well, let's, try a different tactic. And she just starts singing like random songs. And then she gets she gets to Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, which we already kind of know that Alice enjoys.
Star piece.
Yeah. and then as she's singing it, Alice whispers star right when Ellie sings that part and stuff like that. So she's really enjoying it. And Alice goes over and strokes her cheek, looking expectantly at Ellie. And I'm like, oh my God. They had their moment. They got
their moment.
Oh,
so great.
I love it.
So now Max is afraid to see Julia. He goes over for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
What else? Oh my God, I have like no notes right now.
You don't? Oh, well, I just have, so like when Max goes over, he like peers in through the window and sees Julia and Ellie dancing with each other, bumping hips, falling sideways and laughing. And I'm just like, yes, that's what me and my sisters do. Like every time we're together, especially
Always
for the
dancing.
holidays, always dancing, always singing. And then when he goes in, he's like, I've been thinking about you. And she's like, yeah, I know what you mean.
Oh yeah, girl, we know. We know about the dreams.
Yes. I get it. Oh, and then they do, okay, this is what's kind of cute, is that when I started celebrating Thanksgiving, I was 8 years old, and we did this whole thing where it's like everybody goes around the table and says what they're thankful for. So when they put that in here, I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I remember like getting older, like into my teenage years, and my dad would be like, okay, let's like do Jess's tradition and, go around and say what we're thankful for, and be like, ugh, I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
That's so cheesy.
Yep.
And now I'm just like, oh, I like that we do. It's nice that we do
Love
it. Yeah. And I'm really happy that it kind of stuck around, even if I
also love that for whatever reason, Thanksgiving is always at 2:00 in the afternoon.
That's true.
I love it.
I don't get it.
It's like brunch. It's like brunch,
but all savory.
Yeah.
Except for the yams.
Oh my God. I cannot wait for Thanksgiving, dude.
Thanksgiving food, I love it so
like literally
much.
Turkey is secondary. I don't really care about turkey.
I like it with my sandwich. Like I want it for my sandwich the next day.
See, that's what everyone says.
But I don't, but it's not my like heavy hitter the day of, if that makes sense. Like I want other things.
Exactly. Yeah. I want all the sides. All the desserts. This Thanksgiving is about to pop off.
Yes. Or you're going to New York.
I'm going to New York, baby.
Yes. It's going to be so fun.
I can't wait. Okay. So anyway. Sorry.
Yeah. Sidebar. It's fine. At the end of the chapter, Max and Julia are sitting next to each other, and all Max could think about is how warm Julia's hand felt.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, okay, calm. Like cheese, but
Relax.
again, still here.
Yeah.
Still here for
Yep.
it. Love it.
So then I need to start doing what you're doing.
Oh, with the little notes, little notesy things. It's hard because you don't have an actual book, so it's like hard to.
Pros and
actually
cons. Pros and cons.
Yeah. So in chapter 19, Alice is blossoming, follows Julia everywhere, and and she's also getting closer to Ellie, and because Ellie reads to her every single night, which is really cute. Lily, I know, it's so cute.
I want to see who Alice would be.
Yeah, I know.
Who would they cast?
Yeah,
I don't know any little kids.
Yeah, exactly. Who would like be a good enough actress? Yeah,
right.
That's true. There is this one actress that's in like a whole bunch of like scary movies. She's young. She's like, I don't even think she's a teenager yet, but she's known for her horror films.
Weird.
And she's like been in like 4 or 5. I'll have to try to figure that out and report back. I just saw, I think when we were like doing the whole Exorcist thing and we watched it, it kind of, her name kind of came through, and I'm just like, who as a little girl is known for doing only horror movies?
How
like,
weird.
Yeah. I'm just like, that's so crazy. But I don't know like another little actress that could be. You know what I wish is? I wish it was Dakota Fanning when she was a little child actor, because she was amazing in I Am Sam, and then in that one with Denzel Washington,
Man on Fire.
Man on Fire. Like she was
haunting.
A great actress
it's
at
crazy.
such a young age. So if they could get
Uptown
somebody like her-
Girls.
Yeah, I did love that movie.
Oh my God, R.I.P. Brittany Murphy. I love you so much.
Yeah. So sad.
I know.
But if they could find somebody like that.
Uptown Girls is amazing.
And then Ellie is just sad that knowing that one day Julia and Alice are going to have to probably leave because Julia is falling into this motherly role.
Yeah.
Like it's very much looks like it's going towards the fact that she might adopt her. This is when, and then it goes into how Ellie's just feeling kind of like down about herself. She's like, oh, am I ever going to find anybody? You know, and Cal's like, you're only 39, not 59. The game isn't over. And it turns out the reason why Lisa hasn't been around is because she left Cal.
Yep.
And Ellie's like, well, why didn't you tell me? And then makes it all about her.
Yep.
Like, isn't there as a friend. And
she's very wrapped up in her own, like, woe is me.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so selfish.
Yep. But, I mean, at the same time, like, if you think... no, never mind. I was going to say, if you think everything's fine with your friend, then you're not going to be like, what's wrong? But at the same time, you could easily be like, what's up? Where's Lisa been?
Yeah, exactly.
What's going on with you?
Yeah. And I think the reason why I say selfish too is because Cal actually finally calls her out and says, you are selfish.
Right.
Like, you didn't know any of this was going on with me. I mean, our coworker Peanut, your best friend, knew this was going on with me. Like, you just don't ask me about my life. And I've had friends like that in my life, you know, and I'm just like, and that's what's so hurtful. And that's why I'm just like,
Sucks.
Okay, as I'm getting older with letting people go, because if they don't give a crap about anything
but
themselves, I care about you, but I don't have time to only care about you.
Yeah. You're not number one.
Exactly. So
but they want to be.
Yeah, exactly. So I totally get why he's like irked at her. But the one thing I do like is that she owns up to it. She's like, okay.
Right.
Eventually, she goes over to his house and it's like, okay, I'm a bitch.
She's apologizing and she says, yeah, I'm a bitch. And then she says, Lisa loves you. She'll remember that and come back. And he's like, I thought about that, but he's like, I don't even know if that's what I want anymore.
Yeah.
Especially if you think your wife is cheating on you all the time and like away on trips.
And I'm sorry, if she is leaving you and also okay with leaving her daughters behind. No, I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want somebody in my life or be like, oh, maybe she does want me in the future. No, I wouldn't waste my time on that.
Yep.
If she was willing to leave me and the kids.
Yep.
Bye.
Yep.
So bye. And then it goes into Max. I like Max.
Yep. And then he like gives birth to a baby, NBD, Trudy's there. And that's when he cuts it off with Trudes.
Yeah, but before we get there,
great.
It was so great.
Oh, sorry.
When Max is at the hospital and he delivers, and he asks the parents if they want to cut the dad if he wants to cut the umbilical cord, and he says it never gets easier saying those words, and or like saying, I'm like, oh my god, what happened to you, Max? Yeah, no matter how many times he said those words, they always got to him. But then the Trudy part happened right after that, which Trudy is amazing. I don't know she's only popped up like the second time in the book.
Hometown hero.
And I'm just like, Max does not deserve you, Trudy.
No.
Like
Go
the fact,
live long and prosper, Trudy.
Yes,
like,
please find your person.
Yep.
And she's like, I'm glad for you. Like, it's fine that you want to break it out. I'm actually really happy for you.
And maybe she doesn't even want a man.
Yeah, which is totally fine.
So good for her.
Yeah.
And I love that she's like, now quit being such a chicken shit and go ask her out. Like, just stop. Like, we all know.
I love it. She's so mature. I love that character. I just like a powerful woman.
Yes, she is very powerful, ahead of her time. And then he asks... He goes to...
Love it.
He goes over and says, want to go to the movies? Like a 16-year-old.
Yeah. She's like, what's playing? And he's like, I have no idea. And Julia laughs. That's my favorite.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
The flirtation.
So good.
So much flirtation. And of course, they're like being looked at and...
Oh my gosh. Paparazzi everywhere.
I love it. And then after the movie, doesn't he kiss her at this part? I'm like, doesn't he?
Yes.
This is going to
he kissed
kiss
her.
again.
So softly, she hardly had time to taste him before it was over.
Those words. It sounds kind of
Come
creepy, but I'm
on.
just like...
But also, like, we've all been there.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
First kisses are the best. Well, not first, but like...
Once you're kind of in it, and it's like you're not so freaking freaked out after the first kiss, and you can actually enjoy it. Yeah.
So many butterflies.
Good night, Julia.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay, so...
And then the holidays come up, and Julia has this idea to take Alice into town, knows it's a big step, knows Alice is scared. She kind of puts it on the back burner right now because Ellie comes home with a tree.
Yeah.
And they kind of have this memory about their dad always having to get the biggest trees and this chopping off the top part of the tree. And I'm just like, oh my God, I love that so much. It's so cute to like have it, even though obviously Julia doesn't have these great memories of her dad. It's nice that they can share that in like a good way, you know?
Good little tradition.
Exactly. And they plug in the lights, and Alice is just like so taken aback,
so stoked,
very
happy.
I like that, and I remember that because I was so like I actually have a memory of celebrating Christmas for the first time. Do
you really?
Yeah, because I was 8.
Oh,
yeah, or 9, whatever it was. 8, 9. I don't know. I think I was 9 when I celebrated my first birthday, and 8 when I celebrated my first like Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving. So it's like, yeah, I mean, we had the very first Christmas we ever had. Like, insane amount of presents. Like, did you ever see A Christmas Story? Oh, it's one of my favorite. We actually watched that since I was, like, little, so it's funny that we did. But it's just, like, we came out, and it was just presents galore everywhere.
Gosh. Fun.
Everywhere. And my sister got, like, a little TV, the one that...
Oh, my gosh. Yes,
the huge boxes
I
or
totally
whatever.
had one of those.
Like 13 inches or something like that. Super cute. And then I think that was my first Christmas... And my sister asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and she tells a story so funny. She says, I looked at her, and then I looked out the window and put my, like, hand on, my chin on my hand, and I was just like, I just want boobs. And you were 8? Because I had older sisters, and my sisters, like, were developing. And so I wanted boobs really bad. And so my sister wrapped up toilet paper for me.
Oh my God,
that's so cute. I wish I could find, I wonder if my sister still has a picture. She has a picture of me with toilet paper in my hand with the biggest smile on my face.
Oh my God, what an amazing gift.
Yeah.
That is so great.
To this day, I still want bigger boobs.
No, your boobs are great.
Thanks, but I still want them. Maybe someday I will be more than tissue.
Amazing.
So funny. That was it.
Every Christmas, my like gift I have to have is a chocolate orange.
Before you said that, I was like, if she says chocolate orange, I'm gonna freaking freak out.
It's chocolate orange. I have to.
It
is. Okay, is it the one where you
slam it?
Yes. Oh,
yes.
like I will eat it until my stomach hurts. I can't stop.
Oh I am so with you on this one.
Oh my God.
I felt like a really kindred connection right now.
Yes. In my stocking, have to have it.
I mean, now that I'm older, I'll buy them more. You know, like
no,
you won't just buy the one.
Oh, I never buy it. My mom, it's always
nice. Good.
Mom puts it in my stocking. Yeah.
Well, for a while, like you couldn't get them unless it was around Christmas time. I remember seeing them at the Rite Aid at one point, and I told my dad about it because my dad and I were the ones that shared.
Specific brand.
Yeah, you have to get the one. I mean, I don't even know if there's another brand.
There is. Brett. So my mom gave one to Brett. It's still in the closet, and I'm like, oh my God, I want to eat that so bad, but it's not Christmas. It wouldn't make sense.
But it's so good. It's so orange and chocolate flavoring.
One year, my dog ate my chocolate orange.
How in the world?
Oh. It's been like 7 years and I'm still pissed about it. Yeah. My brother's still like, remember when Viva ate your chocolate orange? I'm like, okay.
Yes, I do. Can you not bring up
bad
really
memories.
Bad wounds right now? Don't open them up. That's so funny. Yeah, it's so exciting when I see them start coming out. And I think I got one for my dad. Like he wasn't seeing them anywhere. And so I grabbed some and I was like, yes. Oh God.
Nice.
Some of the best.
Yes.
Some of the best.
I think I love stockings.
I love
more
stockings.
Than presents.
Yeah, I'm not really a present person really anyway.
I don't have anything. Like there's nothing I'm like, ooh. Yeah. Well, you know what? The one thing I would really love is a KitchenAid.
Ooh,
They're nice,
I
you know,
love
like you could do so
KitchenAids.
much with
I
them,
want
but
'em.
like I don't really care.
Yeah, I also probably wouldn't even use it that much, to
I
be
know.
honest. Yeah.
That's my thing, but
Yeah.
that is neither here nor there. We'll talk about Christmas next month.
But we're also talking about Christmas now because it's happening in the book.
I know. Christmas tea nice. That's what Alice says.
No, super cute. And they have her put like ornaments on the tree, and she was like obsessed with all the red ones, which I think is so freaking cute. Oh, it goes back to like how Julia and Cal kind of have this tradition where it started off because Cal's dad seems to was abusive back
Like
in
an
the day.
alcoholic.
Yeah.
Yeah, abusive.
And neglecting Cal and stuff. So Cal would like, as a young, boy, would come over to Julia and Ellie's house all the time. They always had presents for him no matter what. It was kind of unspoken. And then as time went on, it kind of switched after their parents died and Julia still lived there.
Right.
Ellie.
Oh.
See, it's so hard.
I was even like totally, absolutely on board with that.
Ellie started going over to Cal and Lisa's, and it kind of just spiraled from there. Ellie is telling Julia about like her encounter with Cal and how he told her that him and his wife split up, and Cal accused me of being selfish, and Julia's like, really?
Yeah.
And like wondering like why you're not really surprised by that. She's like, when I was little, I had a huge crush on Cal. He was everything I dreamed of when I was 11, but he only had eyes for you. He followed you everywhere. I was jealous every time you snuck out to be with him. And Ellie's like, you knew about that? We live in the same room.
Same room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And basically like tells Ellie like, dude, you threw him away as soon as you got boobs and the jocks started noticing you when you went to high school.
Yep.
But for some reason he just like he would always be there for you.
Yep.
And I'm just like, gosh, hung up.
I know.
Hung up. And then they kind of just progress into other topics, and Julia discloses that she wants to adopt Alice.
Right.
Yes.
Which, I mean, we knew.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Yeah.
pretty evident.
So good for her, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's good for both of them. They've really connected with each other, and I think it's a good idea. But then Julia's like, okay, let's try to take Alice outside, besides just like the front yard. Let's
go to town.
actually go to town. But Alice is freaked out. Like, she doesn't want to go. She's nervous. She's incredibly frightened. And so
What page are you on?
I'm on a page called 270. I'm on 270.
Dang.
They're playing with blocks.
Okay. And
Right.
okay, this is a cool part.
Yeah. And she's just trying to bribe her. Like, if we play with this, then I'll give you a prize. I'll give you a present. And that present is going outside. But again,
Right.
Alice is freaked out.
And so then she's asking her to like show me 4 blocks, show me this many blocks. And then
Yes.
this is cool. So that's what she says. Alice rolled her eyes but didn't say anything as she called 7 blocks from the pile. 7, and now show me 4 blocks. And Alice removed 3 from the string she had just created. And then she's like,
That's huge.
how did you know?
To subtract.
So cool. And then she just keeps like getting her to do things like that and doing it with her fingers. And
Yes.
it's amazing.
It's so cool. And honestly, it is really cool. My sister Jen was with her daughter Charlie at preschool the other day, and Charlie knew how to write out numbers, and Jen's like, I didn't even teach her that.
What?
Yeah. It was insane. She's like, didn't know Charlie could do this really well.
Are they teaching them that?
And there's like teaching them like that stuff in preschool and stuff, but Jen had no idea that Charlie could do all that.
Kids are so amazing. They're really smart.
I mean, my niece Ellie could already read and write, and she just started kindergarten. She's 4 years old.
That's
she just
amazing.
turned 5. It's insane.
And write?
Yep. She wrote me a letter. Like, Natalie tells her what letter to put down to write out, and Ellie will write the letter.
That's wild.
Wow.
Yep. Wow.
But that makes sense to me only because, like, so with my sister Natalie, she was the one that taught me a whole bunch of stuff because she's just super patient. So she taught me how to blow a bubble when I was, like, super little. She taught me how to tie a shoe at 3 years old. She taught me how to ride a bike at 4.
Wow.
So it's like, I can see that.
She's just a really good teacher.
Yeah, she's just very patient. Patient, which is, I think, the biggest thing.
It is.
Which is why I shouldn't have kids. Because I would be so irritated all the time.
When I was teaching, it was so hard for me to be like, how does this not make sense to you?
Why doesn't
it
it
is
make
not
sense?
rocket science.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't hard, but it's like, because they've never seen it before, you have to be in that mindset that you need to give them steps
Right.
to get to their goal of like knowing what you know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Teaching is a crazy profession.
Thankless job, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Serious.
So Julia is having Alice. They're going to go out to town.
After do the whole block thing.
And Julia is telling her, okay, this is what you need to put on. Put on your shoes, and then everything that she doesn't want to do is smelly.
I love that. That's such a kid thing.
Like, for me, it would be smelly work. Don't want to go to smelly work tomorrow.
That's so funny to me. I really kind of connect with that.
Totally. And then she keeps telling her, you're such a good girl. Will you follow me? And then she's telling her, okay, we're going to go see Ellie. And she's like, oh, okay, like I
can do that.
I'm comfortable knowing what we're doing. And then gets her in the car, and that doesn't, it's not so great.
So she straps her into the car seat, and Alice just freaks out, starts hyperventilating, and is like free. Please, girl, free. Like, please free me. Yeah. And Julia finally realizes, like, oh, shoot. Like, this is definitely triggering.
Yeah.
This is something that's happening.
Floyd. Girl Floyd.
Yeah.
Oh, little
That makes
baby.
me so sad.
Squeeze her.
Yeah. But thankfully they make it to town.
Yeah. So they finally make it to town, and they are going... Where do they go?
They just go to the police station.
Yeah.
Because they're doing, like, a little Christmas thing there. Like, people are exchanging gifts and all that stuff. And she sees people that she's already seen before, even though she's a little afraid of it. And but it goes well. Like, everything goes fine.
When they're looking at, I think they're looking at Christmas lights or something, and she's like, ooh, pretty. And then she goes and meets this lady from town, and
it's Earl's wife.
Yeah. And she makes cookies. And Alice is like, cookies?
I could get down on some cookies.
Like, I know about cookies. So that's pretty cute.
Yeah, it is. It's not till the end of this chapter, though, that the whole shit hits the fan kind of thing. So they're...
Right.
Yeah, so the whole point is to get Alice out and to, like, obviously introduce her to see the pretty lights, because they already know that she likes that.
Yep.
So they go outside after, like, opening gifts and doing all that stuff inside the police station with Cal and his daughters and all that. And they notice that the church is also getting out at the same time, and they're in front of it. Busy. So it's about to be really busy. And as soon as the doors open up, Alice freaks out from, like, all the commotion.
Right.
And
takes off.
Yeah, Julia, like, goes to, like, say everything's fine, and then Alice isn't there. And then the last chapter is where we're at for this section, chapter 20. And in Alice's head, she's, like, pissed. She's like, why did I believe her? Like, why do I think I was safe with her? She said that she wasn't going to leave me, and yet here I am running
away, cold, alone.
Yeah.
Leave girl.
Interestingly enough, like, this I think comes with, like, we've talked about before, like, how she might have, like, been marking her territory and all that stuff before she goes to the tree where she ran up the very first time.
Yep.
You know, she was found, which I think is interesting that she probably, like, recognized it, but it was in the dark. Like, how do you, like, I just think she's incredibly smart, you know?
She's just really, like, aware of her surroundings.
Yes. Yeah. Constantly on guard, constantly observing, which I would be too if I was afraid of something.
Totally.
I do that all the time. What am I talking about? I constantly think I'm going to be murdered or raped, so I might as well. Like, I get it. I get being, like, super aware.
And then they finally find her by singing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
I know. I love that.
So cute.
I love that. And then that's when Julie's like, okay, I need to adopt her. Like, I need to start, like, day after Christmas, I'm going to adopt her.
It's happening.
Yeah. Yay. So excited. And then then it goes back to Max.
Yep.
And Max is having a really hard time during the holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you do.
As you do when something has definitely happened to you.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know yet. And what does it say? The ghosts and memories crowded in on him. He has this rush of memories saying, come on, Dan the man, let's put up the star for mommy. So he must have had a child named Dan.
Yeah.
Big surprise.
He's also like trying to call into work and be like, oh, like anything I can come and do. And
please take my mind off of this.
Always trying to distract himself. Yeah.
Which is probably like when we were talking about in the chapters before this, how he probably like turns on all the lights and turns on like all the things like just to distract himself from the loneliness, you know, because he's lonely. He's like, well, maybe I should go over to see what Julia's up to.
Yeah.
And I love this so much because this is exactly how my sisters and I are with each other. When Max like comes up and knocks on the door, Elio's like, hurt her and I'll cut your nuts off. Like my sisters and I talk about that all the time, how like don't mess, like, yeah, you don't mess with a mama bear kind of thing, but you don't mess with your sister. You do not.
Siblings.
Like, yeah, it's an unbreakable bond.
Would, if anything, if somebody did something to my brother, it wouldn't be a question of like, oh, I wonder if she'll do anything. Like I will murder someone. It's a no-brainer. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So I'm just like, I get that. I totally get that.
Yeah.
And then she's like, and you like your nuts? And he's like, I do indeed. So Julia and Max are left together, and he kind of has a hard time because he sees the tree and he's trying not to bring back those memories, trying to distract himself.
Right.
And that's when Ellie decides to go over to Cal's. I just thought this was like really like human of her to like kind of understand, like, because she has been selfish and she's been called out for being selfish, and this is the point where Ellie's just showing like, hey, I can be a good friend, I can be here for you. Because when she goes over to Cal's house, the girls are there, and she sees Cal, and he's like not dressed very nice. He looks like he's having a really hard time. Yeah. And she's like, you know what? I'm gonna pour us a couple of shots. We're gonna take these. Yeah. That's something I would totally do.
Yeah, like let's get out of this little funk.
And then she says to the kids like about like the midnight or the after hour bowling and stuff like that. And it just
like, yeah, it's a good way to get all of them out of that like kind of toxic.
Exactly. Yeah, they're probably, I'm sure, missing their mom because she hasn't showed up. It's just really sweet because Cal's like, are you sure? And she's like, yeah, like, you know, I'll call the owner and I'll leave some money for him and stuff like that. But let's go do secret bowling.
Yeah. Oh, secret. That's what it is. Secret bowling.
You guys can wear whatever you want. And the little girl's like, can I wear my pajamas?
Absolutely, you can.
I love it. And that's when, just remember the next time I get divorced, tequila and midnight bowling, she said. And then Cal's like, is that the magic potion? And she's like, no, but sometimes that's all there is.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's so true. Sometimes you just have to find the silver lining, even if it's not
you just have to get out of your like bowl of sadness.
I know.
You know?
Anyway, claw yourself out any way that you can.
You can be sad for a little bit, but you can't stay there.
Yeah, exactly. That's so true.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yep. And we're finishing the book after this.
Yep. So 21 till the end.
Yep. Yay.
We'll meet you there.
Yes, we will.
Next time. Okay.
I can't wait to finally find out.
Girl.
I know. I'm going to be reading tonight for sure.
Real treat.
I know. Well, you said you cried, right? Or you couldn't cry. Oh, I thought you. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I did.
Well, we were expecting that. We said that from the beginning.
Yeah. Kristin, we know.
Yeah.
Our girl.
Gosh darn it.
Kristin Hannah, every time.
Every time. All right, what do you got for me? We're gonna do our next part.
Here's our next part.
Yeah, we don't have Benny today.
No Benny. We're moving into our Q&A.
Yes, we are. Give it to me, girl.
And we're here. Okay. The title is called Should We Break Up? I've been with my girlfriend for 4 years. We don't fight and we live together, but our sex life doesn't exist and I don't feel the same anymore. She's my best friend, but I don't want sex with her anymore and she gets on my nerves a lot lately. Am I falling out of love? How do I leave? I love her a lot, but I don't know.
I think that's kind of hard. I mean, like it maybe it's not so hard because they're just girlfriend and boyfriend, you know. And you said how many years?
4 years.
I think it's okay if you're not into it though. Like sometimes relationships run their course. Yeah, and you can appreciate them for all that they've done for you, and I'm sure you have great memories, but like if you're not even finding them attractive anymore and they're like their literal existence, even though you don't hate
You're
them.
just roommates at that point.
Exactly. I would suggest calling it quits.
Either calling it quits or bringing it to that other person's attention, because if you still love that person, I mean, everybody gets on everybody's nerves.
Totally.
Like, that's pretty normal. But I would just bring it up first, because if you love them still, maybe you have some fight left in you.
Right. Yeah.
And see if that person's also willing to, because you can change. You
Totally.
can kick yourself back into
Absolutely.
it or not.
Yeah.
Exactly what you said. Relationships ran its course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Time to quit.
And also like maybe ask them if they're open to the idea of like couples therapy. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with boyfriend and girl. I mean, you don't have to be married to have that.
You don't have to be married to have relationships. And that's why it gets annoying to me when older people are like, oh, well, before you're married is the easy times. And it's like, but people are people. Everybody's, everybody's complicated.
Yeah, exactly.
It's still hard to communicate with someone.
Absolutely.
I've been with Brett for 4 years, and it's not like it's been honeymoon for 4 years. It's hard.
Yeah, it's incredibly hard.
A relationship is hard.
It's work every day.
And if you can see yourself marrying that person, why wouldn't you want to start going to therapy to open that communication?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your question.
My question. My boyfriend is going through a lot and he's stressed. But the last time I saw him was a week ago, and before that we went a month without seeing each other. Where do I draw the line between being supportive and asking for him to be more present?
Ooh, okay. This is kind of hard too, because we need to know, are they at least talking on the phone or texting throughout the day?
Let's say that they are for this argument's sake.
I think you just need to be very straight with this person and say, look, I want to support you, but I need to know that you support me too. And
I
know that
my
you're
needs need to be met as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know that you're struggling, and I'm here for you clearly.
Yeah.
Are you here for me too, though?
Exactly. I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
At that point, like, especially if because you seem to want to be supportive. You're saying,
Sure.
So it should be to the point where it's like, I need to actually talk to you about this. Like, don't take the back burner on this one. If you want to see this relationship go forward, you have to address it head on. That there's really no way around that.
No. Yeah.
Not avoiding it.
That's really hard.
It is hard.
It sucks to see your partner struggling.
Yes.
And then also thinking like, well, I don't want to add more pressure, but it's like, well, who cares about you? Who's gonna care about you
if you're not
take
there?
care of exactly. That's not your entire job.
No.
You still have to make sure you're being appreciated.
Yes.
And taken care of.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yes. Yay. That was super quick.
That was quick. Well, we talked a lot about the book, so
yeah, that's
good
fine.
to keep it a little short and sweet.
I like it.
Yay.
Where can you find us?
You can find us on Twitter, Instagram,
Gmail.
Facebook.
Yep.
Ravens. Send a raven.
Caw. That's a crow.
Same death.
That's it. Yeah. Whatever. Instagram is Can I Just Say One Thing? Gmail is Can I Just Say One Thing?
Number 1.
With the number 1 at gmail.com. Twitter is Just Say One Thing with the number 1. So yes.
Find us.
Yeah, find us. Reach out to us.
Let us know how you're liking the book.
Yes,
we want to know. And any other book recommendations or advice questions or just things you want to bring up?
Yep.
We are here for it.
We definitely don't care what you want to talk to us
literally
about.
Anything at all. Like if you want to send hate mail for us to read to someone, like I would do it.
Sure.
I don't know why. That just came to my head.
Yeah, unless it was like really
directed
horrible.
to me, then I won't read it.
Yeah.
I did have someone insult me on Instagram though.
What do you mean? Tell me now.
Okay, you want to hear it?
Absolutely. Just some rando hiding behind their keyboard. Really great. Cool.
Okay, this is what happened. I reposted a video of a mother who lost a son in the Thousand Oaks shooting. And she said
that was a good video.
It was. Yeah. And she said, I don't want prayers. I don't want thoughts. I want gun control, which okay, you know? And so I posted, and what I said was, no more thoughts and prayers. We are done with that. What's next? Where are our leaders? What are they doing? We want answers. No thoughts, no prayers. I want the leader of our country to be enraged by these heinous acts that are happening almost every single day. We deserve more. My heart shatters listening to this mother, and I will not become numb and complacent by this. This is not my normal, and it should not be our country's normal. I'm furious, terrified, and heartbroken, and I expect more from our country. What's next? So this woman who messaged me to be a spokesperson for,
This woman? I'm about to get so mad.
Wait, just wait. So she she private messaged me and wanted me to be a part of her like makeup, essential oils, organic this and that, this line. But she wanted me to buy it. So I was like, well, that's not really what a spokesperson, like you give them the products, they test it out, and then if they like it, they promote it.
Exactly. That's exactly how it works.
I'm literally just being a consumer. I'm not, you know? So I stopped messaging her because then I looked up the company and I was like, okay, this is a giant pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
Not down. So that was like 2 weeks ago, and I haven't talked to her since then. She messaged, or she commented on this post and said, "You don't want prayers? What kind of liberal piece of crap has our country turned into? Prayers are the, in all caps, only thing that will save you. Criminals will get guns whether they are legal or not. Gun control only stops the good guys from defending themselves and others. Get your head on straight." So then
what a self-righteous
I
bitch.
commented and I said, noted, haha. And I was like going to leave it at that. But then my friend Mason, who pops up out of nowhere, who I haven't seen or talked to since middle school. So like 15 years ago, he was a great guy at the time and like whatever. He comments and he says, "Oh, how I wish my thirst for safety and resolution could be simply quenched by prayer, as the one so blissfully does, knowing that people are being slaughtered by an object that could easily be removed from the hands of good and bad people. I'm with you." He put me. Mm-hmm. And then I commented back to Mason and I said, "It's so nice to hear from you. Unfortunately, it's for something so tragic, but thanks for the support. I don't know who this person is, but you're right, completely unaware of the issue at hand and chooses to be ignorant instead." And then I tagged her and I said, "Don't come to my Instagram, try and get me involved in your weird pyramid scheme. And then when I don't acknowledge you, you insult me. Please remove yourself. Thanks, bye."
Good.
And
I'm
that
glad
was
you said that.
That was the last. But like
literally, what did that do for her?
I did not say anything about I hate Democrats, I hate Republicans, I hate this person. I'm talking about our society. It needs to be a different mentality. Clearly what we are doing isn't working. So that's what I'm talking about.
And this mother is hurting because she just lost her son, and you want that to be shown.
You want to call me a liberal piece of crap.
She has no idea who you are.
First of all, no idea who I am. Didn't say that I'm like a raging liberal, which I'm not. Yeah. I'm not. Yeah. I'm both. I can see liberal and conservative views all the time. I can see it.
Mm-hmm. You see it more than I do, that's for sure.
Yeah, I thought it was so unnecessary. I'm like, well, okay, 100%, there's the reason nobody gets anything done.
Yeah. Because
it's people like you who clog up everybody's news feeds, who just have one mindset and refuse to look at things from another perspective.
Exactly. When people can hide, not to get too into it, but when people can hide behind the thought
Screens.
Of prayer, too, and
it's
just like, that's
my
the answer to everything, and it's like, no, action is the answer,
right?
Action.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I'm sorry you had to deal with that. That freaking sucks.
It was kind of lame, and it's why I don't post stuff, though, because I'm not very political. But that spoke to me. Seeing that mother who just lost her son and so irate and heartbroken and just having so many emotions, it resonated with me.
Yeah.
And I wanted people to see that pain.
Right. And on the other side, think about this. Like, this woman came out at you and all that stuff, but like the silver lining to that is that you're random from Mason who you haven't talked to in 15 years. It's just like, hey girl, like I'm with you.
Got you.
And that shows you that there are people that are uniting and stuff. And like you said, it sucks it had to happen under those circumstances, but at least there are people in your corner.
To me, what she did is not offer any type of resolution,
Exactly.
and all she came is just adding fuel to fire for nothing when she doesn't even understand what I'm actually saying.
Nope. Well, she didn't really actually read it. Like, she's
No.
just like, oh, this person must be super
and like,
liberal
I'm
because
not
she's
saying that we should like burn Bibles and get rid of
No.
Christianity and no more prayers and no more anything. But I'm like,
on your own time.
that's that's not gonna stop gunmen from whatever. We're not a political podcast, but obviously
you did get a troll.
Yes,
And
please,
we will talk about trolls.
please, obviously pray. I'm not saying if you want to pray.
And if you don't,
and then what are the actions?
Exactly. Then how can we resolve an actual issue with actions?
Yeah. Anyway. Political corner's over.
Won't happen very often, but
no, never.
But we're here. We're here for it. We still have to acknowledge that things are still happening.
I'm getting way more involved because there's just too much going on right now.
There's a lot.
You can't ignore it anymore.
No, you can't. And you shouldn't.
You shouldn't. It's important. It's your life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the fact that was the woman's son that was at the
Route
mass
91.
shooting in Las Vegas.
Yep.
And then the fact that one person can be at 2 different mass shootings.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's true. Like that shouldn't happen. Mm-hmm. That should not be the odds where you can have.
So I showed you that thing. It's almost a shooting a day in 2018.
Yep.
The statistics were almost every day.
So you have more luck getting shot than winning the lottery, essentially.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh,
anyway.
Well, that took a depressing turn. You guys,
go back and read the book.
Go read the book. Let's be in happy times with Kristin Hannah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
we'll cry a little bit
and Edward. I didn't mention them this episode. I had to get them in.
No. I tried to watch 50 Shades Freed, by the way.
How was it?
Couldn't get through it. Couldn't get through it.
Were you watching it with Shiloh?
I was.
By
but
yourself.
then I tried to watch it a little bit by myself, and I was just like,
really?
Couldn't do it. I'm going to try to go back because it got to a
haven't.
steamy part that I want to actually get to.
Sure.
But when I was watching it with Shiloh, I'm like, oh my God.
It's like watching TV with your dad. You're just
exactly. I literally.
Oh my God, the ceiling.
Literally rather watch porn with Shiloh than watch 50 Shades Freed. Yes. 100%. Because then we'd both be getting something out of it.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's how bad 50 Shades Freed was.
Damn it.
Yeah.
What a
still go
bummer.
watch it by yourself. I mean, it's
by
fine.
myself.
Yeah.
For sure. I should have done that today.
Yeah.
Why didn't I do that?
Shoot.
Messed up.
Anyway, bye, friends.
Anyway, bye.
Have a good week.
Message us. We love you. Bye.
Bye.